Okay, hi everybody. We're on page 117, and this is just a little, let's call it a piano hack or a theory hack. It's a quick way to, excuse me, to name your chords when they're not in root position. So we all know that when a chord is in root position, it's very easy to name it. Just the bottom note is going to be the name, G major. The only thing you have to decide then, is it major or minor? What is the quality of the chord? But it's very easy when you see space, 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 or line, 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 to name that chord because the bottom note is always going to be the name. But the minute we invert a chord, I'm just going to take this A and put it on the top. Now we know, because it was just in root position, that it's A, but now it's not so obvious. You see a third, and then you see a fourth. So I want you to really hone in visually on the intervallic relationship of this. You're always going to see on an inverted triad a group of thirds together and then a fourth. And when you can identify where the fourth is, it's between these two notes. The top note of the fourth is the name of the chord. And then you do need to figure out what's the quality of the chord. Is it major or minor? And up until now, we've mostly just worked on major chords, but that's pretty easy. But naming the root is a little trickier. So look for the fourth. So let's look at page 117. The first one, I'll just draw it on the board too while we're talking about it. Looks like this. Okay, it's not the same inversion as that. It's got the single note and then the thirds are together on the upper part of the chord. So where's the fourth? It would be between these two notes. You see that? So the fourth could be on the top. If it's in first inversion chords, the fourth is always on the top. On second inversion chords, the fourth is always on the bottom. You don't even really need to know, is this a first inversion or second inversion? That might be more information than you want to know. But you should know what the name of the chord is and be able to identify it. So the name of this would be the top of the fourth, or C. So think of it like a baseball, like top of the fourth. Just anything goofy that you can remember will be a good way to just remember. Top of the fourth is the name of the chord. So let's go through a few of them. Let's go to the second measure. You have A, C, and then up a fourth to F. So the minute I see a fourth, C to F, I can say, okay, the top of the fourth, F, is the name of that chord. And by the way, I'll just tell you ahead of time that all the chords on this page are major triads. So you don't really, the assignment is not to name the quality. You only have to name what the chord is. Measure 3, we have E, G, and C. So you see a third, and then the fourth is stacked on top. The top of the fourth is a C, so it's C major, etc. So figure out where the fourth is, and then name the upper note of the interval of the fourth. Okay, so let's do a couple in the bass just to get the idea of it. Down here in the bass, we're on a low E, up a third, G, up a fourth, C. So find the fourth, G to C, and the upper note is the C. So C is the root of this chord, C major. And if you want to know, it's in first inversion. So whenever the fourth is on top, it's going to be your first inversion chord. Now we see that the fourth, the outlying, the loner note on the second measure in the bass, it's C, F, A. The single note that's away from the other two is the C. Then we go up a fourth and up a third. So C up a fourth is F. That's an F. So that's an F major chord, and that would be second inversion. So I know that sometimes this is a confusing concept to people. You can do old school, instead of using this hack at all, like let's say you saw, let's go to measure 3. You see a D, a G, and a B. and you just can't remember. What did Susan say? I don't remember. So instead, just take those three notes and invert them until you come to all thirds stacked up. And you get GBD in one quick shift. All right, so, and then you can name the chord as G. So you can always revert back to just inverting the chord like we do in our warm-ups to figure out what is the root. Just keep inverting it so you get all thirds stacked up, and then the bottom note will be the name of the chord. But it's very useful when you're reading music to see on the staff or even on the piano, you can see the intervallic relationship. You can see the fourth on the keyboard as well. So if I were to play this, you can see that I've got C, F, and A, and the fourth is between these two notes. So this must be F major. Okay? And I could invert it and come up with that same answer, but isn't it quicker to just use your eyes? So visual sense is always a little bit faster than the kinesthetic, moving your whole hand. But you kinesthetic learners, I was a very kinesthetic learner, and I did that little thing in my lap for quite a few years before anyone told me this little hack of noticing visually where the fourth is. So use it if you can, because it will save you time when you're trying to identify chords. Okay, naming roots of chords. Good luck.